And that's the intro to the Tom Show.
I love the new intro. It is so it's so perfect, man. It's awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I just, my cousin Aaron amplified. He has a ton of beats, and not all of them make it to the hip hop albums that he works with. So it's like, hey, I've got 10 of these beats I started on, but just don't give a crap to finish. You can have one. And I was like, sweet. Because that's fun to me. And Che helped me choose that one. It was one of the 3 he liked the most. It was one of the 3 I liked the most. That track is called Follow the Sun, S-O-N. I believe that is a Jesus reference for those wondering. We are a wholesome Christian-themed show. Actually, I kind of am. So most of us are, I think, as white cardboard collectors.
Yeah.
But just to give a little background on that, hey everybody, it's 20 minutes into the show, and I'm going to introduce my guests now. Everybody knows Che, Ian Sports Cards. We did the Tom Che show. We're going to probably do that again, but more like this, where we don't focus on what's happening in the hobby as much as what's happening with each other and with the hobby. So it's not going to be like hobby news. It's going to be like 2 dudes talking stuff in hobby. So, and then everybody knows Eric Hacker, RAK of the Day. He's our RAK King. He's got a whole day in December dedicated to him. And what people don't know, what's funny about that is Eric did this. I proclaimed it Eric Hacker Day because Eric, I really do love you, man. You do so much. I love
you, Tom.
You've been so kind to me. And yeah, I did it as just kind of a joke. Like, hey, let's celebrate the guy that celebrates everyone else. And then Eric sends me this little DM. He's like, I thought this was funny. And he shared it from like a social media post. The day that I declared Eric Hacker Day, 1 year before, he had an idea to start RAK of the Day.
That's
so
awesome.
How hilariously like that like we honored him a year after. I didn't know. I just threw it out there. And then Eric pulled it up and was like, oh, send it to me. And he's like, yeah, I had this idea 1 year ago today. And it's so funny that you honored me. So I'm excited to welcome both of you because first of all, we've all 3 done racks. We've done fundraising. Eric does the Rippin' Gypsy, helps them out. And Che and I did the Feet Bay Jet Foundation. Che's done a lot of racks with Eric. I had the most fun doing the Rackaroke.
That was awesome.
So I believe. So Eric, he had this idea. Sorry, I'm going to talk real lot right here, I guess. Eric created the Elrod Council of Rackers, and I'm Gandalf. So that means Eric is, of course, Elrod. He's having the council, and the One Ring is racks. So we're all gathered together. There's 12 of us or 11 of us. I mean, there's more than the fellowship had, but everybody's got a month. We're all going to do stuff and promote. We all got days where we're going to help out. But it's a huge undertaking to keep this going because it's not right for one man to single-handedly give back to the hobby like that. So we've got a whole group going on, and we'll talk about that later. But, Che's in that with us. I don't know who he is, who he wants to be from the movies.
I've never seen a single minute of any of those movies. So
you and Eric both. That's what makes this so great.
My follow-up question to this was going to be, who's Elrod? I have no idea who this is.
Have you seen the Matrix movies?
Yes.
Yes.
Agent Smith, that actor plays Elrond, and he's like, well, the wise old elf who everyone goes to for information.
So can I just be Agent Smith then?
Yeah, you can be whatever you want. It's your thing. I guess. I mean, I'm not Neo, but I can still be Gandalf in the Matrix. All right. Hey, everybody. It's 20 minutes into my show, and we're about to start. So what do you guys want to talk about? Nothing going on in the hobby. So
let's talk about, you brought it up. Let's kind of go into a little bit more detail about what we've got going on in 2022. Like you said, Hecker, man, in 2021, 365 days of racks. I mean, you did have guest rackers every once in a while, but the undertaking you took on, and, you know, you and I have had private conversations about the difficulties that you saw throughout the year and keeping that going. Yeah. But you did it, man. You did it. And it was amazing. It changed. I don't know if you understand. I mean, I think there's a lot of factors that went into a lot of changes in the hobby, but if you don't give yourself enough credit for the driving force you were in making a sea change in how a lot of us see the hobby. I ran, and I haven't tweeted it again, but I ran consecutive polls the other day. The first poll I put was, what is your primary focus for your hobby Twitter account? And I put, buying and selling opportunities, market insights and research, sense of community and camaraderie, or other. And the first poll I put up, it was 70% camaraderie and community. And I'm like, that's BS. I know people didn't start their account for that. So the next day I'm like, okay, you all answered the question yesterday. What did you start the account for? And then it was about 40% buying and selling opportunities. And it was more market insight and research. But that showed that there's been a change. Once people join the hobby community on Twitter, what they joined for, that changes. They get into the community and they see people like Eric Hecker doing what Eric Hecker does. And it changes their whole attitude toward the hobby of collecting. And you impacted me. And, you know, I have evolved over the 2 years that I've been on here. But I know for a fact that you've impacted so many people in just your dedication and your generosity and your spirit in what you did last year. So kudos to you. And I am proud and honored to be able to assist you in 2022. So thank you for letting me be part of that. And, you know, this is your thing in 2022. I'd like to talk about my month and what I'm going to do. But if you'd like to lay out your vision for how you see Rack of the Day going in 2022, I mean, have at it.
Yeah. And Che, those are kind words that you said. And I do appreciate it. And I answered your poll. And I answered it as other because, I mean, when I saw what did you start your account for, I've had this account for 10, 12 years now. It never was a hobby account until last year, right? And at that time, I didn't know. I didn't know you could buy and sell on Twitter. I didn't know what a rack was. I didn't know anything. And, you know, so the follow-up question to answer would definitely be community and camaraderie for sure. Do I sell on there? Yeah, we all do. You know, I mean, got to fuel what your PC is and fuel racks, right? So, I mean, that, you know, it's used both ways, but I would say 90% of it is definitely community and camaraderie. But yeah, 2022, right? Like, you know, well, let's go back 2021. I didn't expect to get through a full year of Rack of the Day. I'm going to be totally honest. I've said that over and over, and I was so surprised at the steam that it picked up early on, and I'm glad that it did. And so many people helped out along the way. I mean, guys, I'm looking at a box right here of like 3,200 cards that Joe Fester sent me back in February that out of nowhere, you know, and that's kind of been a helpful guide for all of this. But, you know, when I saw everything happen, I'm like, I gotta get my friends involved. I gotta get the people who have been intimately involved in this on the back end, who have privately messaged me, who I've seen out there, you know, doing these things on their own, and how can we work together and do these things? So I was like, let's just do it. Like, let me message these folks. If they say they're in, fantastic. If they say they're out, that's okay too. You're still my friend. You know, there's still opportunities there. And so what we're doing. Yeah, there's I think 11 of us. Both of you are a part of it. The RAK ambassadors is what we're calling. Zach, he's in here. I see him. He's a part of it. Goldline Chris is a part of it. Wes Crayley, Anna as well is a part of it. Moose, and there's a few others I'm missing right now, and I apologize to all of them that I can't remember. But yeah, like we're all doing the normal racks. Everybody's taking a singular day each month, and I'm picking up the remainder, whatever 20 plus days on a month to do all this. But outside of that, outside of the recognition piece that we're doing for people, we're picking a charity each month. Each ambassador's picking one charity to promote. And I think this month we're doing Special Olympics, for Chris and for Kevin in New Jersey, and trying to really promote both of them and why it's so important to them and to raise those funds. And there's no expectation of me or Tom or Che to give. It's really I've said it in the past. It's to raise awareness for them, and that's what this community should be doing. I don't know if you can tell, I'm highly passionate about this stuff. I want this to be something more than just cardboard and, ooh, look, I have this autograph. Like, let's use the relationships that we've built to help promote something that's greater than us, to help promote something that's going to be able to help other people that need it or that can use it. And so that's a part of it. And then the other side of it too is, let's just do something nice for, something big and a big grand gesture for, one hobby member a month, whether it's a pick me up that they need, or whether it's, Che saw somebody saying, hey, I'm looking for, an autographed bat of Ken Griffey Jr. Well, let's see if we can get some people pulled together and get that bat for that person, and we're all kind of pitching in and doing that a month. And again, there's no pressure on anybody to give. It's just one of those things. Like, if you're able to do it and your heart says that you want to do it, then by all means. We just did one a couple of days ago. I'm not going to divulge who it is because they might tune in, but the card's on the way, and they're aware of it. And that was one of those. Like, I saw the card on Twitter for days and days and days, and I'm like, this card belongs to this person, but I just don't know how I feel about it yet. And then finally something was like, okay, just do it. Like, you got the people that are able to do it, so go ahead and do it. But 2022 is setting up to be a really big year for this. And, my personal preference is that this is going to be leaning more towards on the community aspect and the awareness being brought to various causes and various needs. And, because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. And, I think we're all excited when we get mail days, but, when we can make somebody feel better or make somebody feel like, man, these people really care, I think that's that we all really enjoy most.
I just want to make people cry. That's what I'm in it for.
Well,
tears of joy and tears of
joy.
Sadness. They have different tastes, but they still taste sweet. So just real quick, I always forget to turn it back over to comments because I always have it ready to throw up my video. But we have some amazing people in chat. One that's never been in chat before, and that's my wife, Catherine. Lady Catherine.
Saw that.
Says,
hey, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
From Twitch.
Hey, Tom, because you mentioned her, can I just sidebar real quick? How's everything out in Colorado for you guys?
We are fine. Everything, it's like we are disassociated from it. There is a horror for many people going on that is adjacent to us, but we're not affected.
Okay.
And it's not survivor's guilt, but it is, we haven't, like, she has seen some of the damage because she had some appointments to go to. I haven't. And my work is with that town, one of the towns I got
I saw
burnt up. So it's kind of like I haven't experienced the raw trauma of it yet, but I know it's coming and I'm not looking forward to it. And we have to adjust our contract with that city because we can't maintain stuff that was destroyed. So we have to reduce our scope of work for that, but then there's going to be more construction and repair, and we're a landscaping company, so it's not like we're building, but we're going to be doing once everything's almost done, we're going to go in and, make it look nice with, grass or plants or bushes or trees. So that is something I'm not looking forward to. I found out the Target that I frequent was not destroyed. The neighborhood surrounding it was wiped out, hundreds of homes, but like half the roof got burned. So they might be able to save that building, but it was a crazy deal. And there's crazy information coming to light about how it actually started. So, yeah, it's just scary, but we're good. So yeah, after this show is over, I think we're going to go grab some food because she did some stuff and, celebrate a little bit of like physical therapy stuff from her and, just to have fun. We signed our lease again. So we're like, whew, we could stay here for another year and we can get out. But yeah, real quick, Eric, while we were just slobbering all over you, the three people that are most important to the hobby giving side, well, I'll say four, watch the breaks, because he gives to people. He's not like the charitable kind, but he gives so much. He inspires me. Goldline, Chris, that he welcomed me into this group that he has, the Cardboard Connection. And that's, where I met kind of Che and, and then it got involved with you kind of because I think someone from that group nominated me for a RAK. And then I was like, this is awesome. So without Chris, without Che, without you and your like charitable natures and the RAKs and the communities that, we all talk about, I would not be interested in hobby Twitter as much. I'd be taking longer breaks. You guys are the reason that I want to still be around because I want to, help the community. And that's, Tom's show, I want to talk about all my friends and how great they are to help them out and give back. And it's just, so you guys are super important to me and we all have each other's phone numbers. I've texted with all of you guys and, we all check in on each other. So,
and that goes both ways too, right? Like, I mean, you and Che, Chris, so many others are what keep me motivating, keep me moving forward as well. I mean, definitely if it weren't for, like you just said, if it weren't for you folks, yeah, I don't know. K-Dub's another one,
yes,
he is another one, man, that, I get a text for him probably 2-3 times a week, just checking in saying, hey, how are things going? So yeah, I mean, that's the driving force behind all this for sure.
Absolutely.
What keeps me here.
Yeah. And I think that's like Che said, people wanted to get rich. They wanted to make their careers be 100% hobby related. And they realize they can't happen, but they're like, you know what? There's a lot of good people here to hang out with.
Yes, absolutely.
Jen says she cries every time she sees my feet. Well, that just inspired me that I think maybe for my fundraising, I think I picked July. I think I picked with Jed Foundation again. I'm picking them as a charity until they acknowledge that I gave them $3,000, which they've never done. But I might just do repacks, sell some like $20 repacks and like 4 out of 5 will just have feet cards from, and then one will actually have like real cards. Like, oh, hey, here's this Pete Alonso rookie refractor. But then, the rest is just all feet. And
the chasers are going to be
like,
chasers are going to be game use socks.
Yeah.
they just ironically and magically end up on Jen's doorstep.
Yeah, she does have more feet cards than anyone because she won the auction for the Lauren Taylor card. So the 101 that I created was for that. And then, for like buying multiple stuff, I gave our big donators another card. So she has 2, which is 2 more than anyone should have. They were fun to make. They also have Che's little sweet heart background with the Snoopy hat on the back. So I might, if I'm going to do it again, I'm going to order them or something because glue and cutting out, it just turned out terrible, which is actually hilarious in a way. It's the Tom effort, like my Tom effort NFTs, just do it to where it's laughable. But purposefully laughable, but really that's the limit of my skills. So yeah, Chris, yeah, I sent you one. I can't. Josh Ong, Beijing Dao. He's a super nice guy, hardcore into NFTs right now. But he was a collector and he bought some basketball stuff from us for like $50. So he's a good donator. I can't remember who the other people were that I sent that out to, but yeah, I didn't.
Cool.
I have a couple left. I think maybe just one. And I have one for Lauren Taylor. I'm gonna send off to her. I just haven't because I'm so bad at mail, still months behind, clearly. So, but yeah, that's the community, the racks. I'm looking forward to it. I want to do for my July, I want to do another rackaroke type event, but maybe not singing. My wife keeps sending me all these reels from Instagram of people doing weird stuff to the same song. And I know there's like TikTok dances. So I might try to find a way to do something like that, incorporate cards into some weird meme dance thing that's popular at the time. And, people could send them in. We'll line them up on the Tom Show. We can have people watch, laugh, and vote again. I want to do something like that. To me, the rackaroke, you had to work for your friend. You had to show your friend love. And that meant so much to me that the people went through that. And, one good example is our buddy Wes. And he was like, I want to participate, but I'm so afraid to do it. And I was like, send me your lyrics and I will just do it for you. And he's like, well, can I just send you audio? And I was like, yeah, man, just whatever makes you comfortable, just participate. And he did. And then he was like, that was so much fun. And he's like, he was always like super funny and outgoing, but now he's even more so. And I'm not saying like, I did anything, but like that spoke to him and he wanted to. And now it's like and that meant more than, whatever, the raps or the lyrics or the songs, just people putting themselves out there. So that's my idea for my big thing, will be something like that again. So, Che, what about you? I know why you picked your thing, but why don't you tell everybody?
Yeah, I chose February after you and I did the Jed Foundation one last year. It was so fulfilling. I think it changed both of us. It changed us as people. And I told you then, I already had an idea in mind for next year, and I knew that we would not do it together, but support each other in what we were going to do individually. And I thought we could accomplish more that way. So, when you do yours in July for Jed, I'm going to be there every step of the way and helping, all that I can. But, one that's near and dear to my heart, literally, is the American Heart Association. For those of you who are watching this, you may not know, my story. 9 years ago in October, I was driving home with my 18-month-old son in the back seat, driving on a 4-lane divided highway at 55 miles an hour, and had a heart attack while driving. And it was what they call a widowmaker heart attack. And I am very, very, very fortunate to be here talking to you guys today. So I won't get into all that, but
let me get into that that real quick. Widowmaker means that you die and leave your wife a widow. I just want to reinforce how crazy and dangerous those heart attacks are. My hero, Kevin Smith, had one a few years ago, almost died, but he was having it while he was still on the ambulance and stuff. Life-changing event if you survive it. And of course, if you don't, you're gone. But those are dangerous. So sorry, just reinforcing that. Not like, like Chris Farley, I had a heart attack, on the Saturday Night Live. Widowmaker. Okay, go ahead.
My two largest arteries were both 100% blocked. I was 38 years old at the time. So, and I've got a family history of that. And I think that helped me because before the chest pains, before anything happened, I was on the phone with 911 before I had my first chest pain. I just knew. I knew. I was like, I can't breathe. I cannot breathe right now. Something is wrong with me. I know my mom was one of 10 brothers and sisters. 8 of them lived past infancy, and all 8 of them had heart attacks in their 40s. And so I've got 2 cousins that had heart attacks in their 30s. One didn't make it. His was a widowmaker, and he did not. It was so massive that he did not survive. So when it first started, I knew that it was happening. I had one of my sons in the back seat of my car. The other one was at home with my then wife. And I called her and I said, "Hey, I think I'm having a heart attack. I got to do something." Got off the phone, called my dad. I just left his house. I said, "Hey, Dad, this is what's happening. I need you to come get Noah right now. I'm going to pull off the side of the road." And then I called 911 and, let them know where I was, told them I thought I was having a heart attack, so I survived, from the time I called 911 to the time they had the stents in my heart was 45 minutes. And that's why I survived.
Yeah.
It's called door to balloon time. It needs to be under an hour from the time you get to the hospital until the time that the stents are in. Mine was 45 minutes from the time I called till the time the stents were in my heart. So that's why I survived. But so I told you my family history, my own personal history. That's why I wanted to choose the American Heart Association. So I chose February as my month because that's American Heart Month. So, this February, I'll be, the charity will be mine, and it'll be the American Heart Association. I've got to get on the ball. I was just talking to somebody yesterday and I said, "Hey, mine's next month."
Yeah.
And
Sucker.
I've got to get stuff going, so I plan to do not quite as long. Tom, you and I did the Jet Foundation. We spread it out over a month.
Oh, man, that was killer.
Yeah, and I don't think I need to spread it out over a month. I think that, I can do it in a shorter amount of time and be just as successful. We raised almost $3,500 last year. And we were 2 fools that had no idea what we were doing. But we learned.
We had some help from Eric Hecker, too, by the way. Shout out you. You helped us out. You gave us direction.
We had one phone call. That was it. You guys did everything on your own.
No,
it was very successful.
And I think that's why we wanted you so bad to talk to you on our show, is like you gave us some advice and helped us out and got some donators for us. Ken Carl from you, someone else too, I think. But yeah, thank you so much for that help. Sorry, Shake.
Yeah, we definitely learned from that. We learned from you. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit of feedback from you. I don't know if you're talking right now, Tom, or not, but I hope not.
It's probably my shredded cord. So,
I'm going to do this in February, and the American Heart Association is going to be my charity. I'll plan to do some auctions. It'll probably be mostly auctions. I'll look for some donations, but we've learned. I've gotten better at this. You guys know the tornadoes went through Western Kentucky in December. And I was driving home one night and just spur of the moment said, "I got to do something. I got to raise some money. I got to help. I don't know what I can do." But I put out the call to my followers and my friends on Twitter. And in less than 3 days, we raised $2,000.
Yep.
So, then a week later, I saw that Garrett was, December was terrible. I mean, the tornadoes in Kentucky, the wildfires in Kansas, the wildfires in Colorado. But, Garrett, he reached out to me and said, "I saw what you did for your, your community in Kentucky. And I feel like I need to do the same thing. And I'm going to try to raise $1,000. But I felt like Garrett was kind of in the position that you and I were in, Tom, back during the infancy of the Jed Foundation. He had never done anything like that before.
Yeah.
And he was doing a great job. He had raised $600, which is, very, very commendable.
Yes.
But I reached out to him and I knew we were getting close to December 31st. And I knew he wanted to have $1,000. So I was like, "Garrett, how much more do you need?" He's like, "I need 600. I'm at 638, 6 something." He needed $382. So he's like $618. I said, "All right, we're going to get it for you. We're going to get it tonight." So I was like, I just asked everybody for money for my tornado relief. And everybody just spent money on Christmas. People are tight on money. I know they are. And I don't want to go asking for more money because I don't want to be the guy who's just always asking for money, but we got to do something. And I was like, you know what? I don't have a lot of money, but I have pardon my French, a shit ton of baseball cards. I've got a bunch of baseball cards that are just sitting here, and that I care about my cards, my PC I care about, but I've got boxes and boxes and binders in that closet that I'm not going to put on eBay. And I'm just going to look at, I'm going to look at them. They're in the box. I'll sell some of those, and I'll ask people just to, instead of paying me, to pay Garrett, and I'll cover the shipping. And I'm going to go make a video, and I'm going to challenge the people in the hobby to do the same thing. And man, that thing took off overnight. 2 days later, he was up to $1,700. I'm not going to say that was all my sales thread. Chris did his own auction. Chris saw it. He didn't join the sales thread, but he did an auction. Wes, we talked about Wes earlier, and he contributed a lot. He did an auction. Kelly, just did a sale. I mean, just like, sales after sale after sale. So many people just started jumping in and saying, I'll sell this and I'll sell this. And we pretty much raised almost $1,000 for him in a couple of nights. So,
and I mean, those two examples right there, sorry to cut you off. Those two examples right there show exactly why we're all in this together, right? I mean, look, if this were a year ago when that happened, Che, do you think that you would have raised $2,000?
No way.
Do you think you even would have thought about raising $2,000? Right?
No.
I mean, that's what's so great about this community that's been developed, right? Because now when something like that happens in our own towns or our own, not like Tom, I'm telling you right now, like I'm thinking about, okay, you're going to need help out in Colorado. Okay, like, maybe not you specifically, but the towns next to you, they're going to need help. So like, I'm starting to think like, what can we do? Because we have the resources at our fingertips now. And we know that people are going to do what they can. So I mean, it's so awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm not sure, just real quick, I'm not sure I'm going to do anything for the fires, like fundraising, because I'm tied with the city through work, volunteer hours. We're going to be, maybe I'll do something, but I think I'm just going to stick to because I'm bad at it.
Tom, when you said that I think I knew you worked for a landscaping company. My first thought was, we're all going to Colorado and we're going to go plant some flowers and some mulch. Like that's what we're going to do.
See, I thought about maybe creating like an NFT where you buy it and you get a tree that we're going to plant in the town of Superior, and maybe there's a QR code on the tree or around the tree that someone could scan, or bench even, or whatever they need in the town to be replaced. They can scan that in real life and it'll go to like your profile and say, this person donated that tree. If I could pull that off and get approval, I think that would be something that would be totally cool and interesting. I don't think I can. And I don't, you know what I mean? That's like above Tom's pay scale. So I think I'm just going to stick to like working and planting trees and doing whatever volunteer service I can through my work, and just kind of keep it there. Because I don't know, people like me. People trust you guys. I don't think people trust me as much with their money. It's like, that guy's a clown. We'll give money to Che. We'll give money to Hecker. We'll laugh at Tom. We're not going to give him anything. So those are my plans and my ideas, and maybe something happens. So sorry, back to you guys.
Oh, I just wanted to finish up mine. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I do know, and I don't know that I can get it done. I probably waited a little too late. You guys know my super PC, my personal baseball hero. My favorite of all time is Rod Carew. He joined Twitter last year. I'm not trying to brag here, but I was one of the first 100 people he followed when he joined Twitter. So he does follow me. I've DM'd him a few times. We've had conversations, and we know each other's story. He knows my story. He had a Widowmaker heart attack. Unlike me, he was on a golf course, didn't have a cell phone on him, and spent quite a bit of time waiting for help. He did survive, ended up with a heart transplant. But he had a foundation that he had with the Twins a couple of years ago called the Heart of 29. He is into charities. Heart health is very important to him. So I'm going to reach out and just see if he can assist in any way, whether it's donate a bat, donate something, donate a few retweets with his 70,000 followers. I would love for him to be able to help in any way possible. I won't expect much from him, but I would love to get his name, even if he allows me to use it, to use his name and gives me a couple of retweets. So February is my month. I'm doing American Heart Association. Have no clue exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but I'll figure something out. So
I'm here for it.
And Eric, I have a question for you, and it's not from me. It's from our buddy Chad, Che's buddy.
All right.
Chad asked me on Twitter, he's like, hey, can you guys talk about the tops thing? I was like, we'll get to that. But then he was like, how can an old boomer ass mofo like me that doesn't have PayPal or Venmo or Cash App or Slapdash or anything like that, how can I help out with your rack of the day?
It's a very easy question to answer. I'm sure Chad has a plain white envelope, a non-machinable stamp, and 3 cards that he can put into an envelope for somebody. That's all it takes.
See, there you go. And Chad, you could probably reach out to Eric or myself or Che or D Moose or Zach or Anna or anyone that's in the Council of Elrond. You could be like, hey, can I have a day? I have these 3 fun cards of certain baseball player, and I want to find someone that's appreciative, and we could do that work, and then you can just send the cards yourself. So
that's it. That's literally what it is, and again, I'll say it. The cards are secondary to what we're doing here. We're recognizing people for what they're doing.
Also, a benefit to what we're doing this year and the way we've got this formatted with our 12 months. And, I've got February, Tom's got July, Anna and Zach have a different month. Chad, you've got my address. We can get you Eric's address. If you want to donate, if your question was, how can I donate to one of these bigger racks? Like when K-Dub puts out the call or I put out the call, hey guys, I'm trying to get something together to get Tom, this Austin Eckler, Western Colorado State School of Culinary Arts, whatever it is where he went. We want to get him this card.
Yes.
Yeah. How can, send me a check, send Eric a check, and we'll put it toward the September rack, or we'll put it toward the October rack, So there's a way that you can help or I could teach your old nut how to set up a Venmo account. We'll talk about that later. But no, we'll figure out a way for you to help.
And 100%. Chad, this is something that I did. I think I did it with Hecker, K-Dub, and Goldline. I sold a card, and I had like $20 or $15 in PayPal. And it's like, well, nothing I want to buy is $15. I'm going to send it to Chris, Goldline Cards, like, hey, I just sent you $15 in PayPal. Use it for the next rack. I trust you so much. You can rack whatever you want, and you just spend it how you see fit. So if you wanted to send a $20 check to Che or Eric or whoever to like, hey, on the next rack, I want to participate, or hey, someone's having this donation, I want to donate, we can work around all that. I understand that, like, hey man, all this technology, like people like my buddy, 712 something other. Everyone knows her as Christine. She's got the adorable little girl, Kinley. Christine keeps sending me these things like, hey, Tom, get your Cash App. There's these contests, and I won like $5 or $10, and I've won it 15 times. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't want Cash App.
That's me.
Like, I know it's useful. I still haven't been banned from PayPal, so I'm still in the good standing with them. I don't need Venmo. I don't need Cash App. I appreciate people thinking about me and wanting me to get those things, but I'm happy with just PayPal right now. Once I get banned from that, I'll figure out Cash App or something, but just one at a time.
I actually had somebody at one point, I was selling a card, a higher end card, $20, $30 card. And they sent me a DM and they said, hey, what's your Venmo? I said, I don't have Venmo. They said, so you're just going to walk away from the sale? I said, yep. I have no need for another password and username. It's not necessary for me. I've had PayPal for 20 or 25 years now. What do I need to do?
Exactly.
I don't do Venmo. I only have PayPal. I don't have Venmo.
Same. Do you guys any more of the rack of the day type stuff, community stuff you want to get to, or we want to transition to just fun chit
If I can
chat
just
talk?
plug real quick, because maybe
Whatever.
it's on people's minds, maybe it's not. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. Ripping for the Cure is coming back. We do have plans in place. We're securing everybody right now, so you'll start seeing your timelines being blown up with that again. So that's all I'm going to say.
I love it.
Me too. I'm here for it.
Yeah, just another quick shout out. We mentioned the Special Olympics, the polar plunge. Our buddy Goldline Cards is doing it, and Kevin, I think is his. There's so many. You have so many friends with the same names, so it's hard to remember them all sometimes, at least for me. But those guys are going to be doing that, so check their pages. Chris is about to get going on his. Kevin, I'm not sure, but guys, this is January.
They're both out there, so
yeah,
I got to get on them again. I do just want to say who the RAK ambassadors are, just so everybody does have them. I have them listed here. So it's Moose, it's Kelly, Wes, Chris, Tom, Schmitty, who's Ginger Snap 4004. And if you just saw, he just got a sweet Tommy autograph card in the mail today.
Nice.
Che, Anna, and Zach. The Twitter handle's Dizzle729, but his name's Rich. Really great guy, really funny guy if you follow him at all. And then Garrett and Parker as well are a part of this.
Funny story about Rich. Eric tried to add me to the Elrod Council. And he's like, man, we can't get you in. What's going on? I was like, someone has me blocked. He's like, what? I was like, someone that's in your council has me blocked. He's like, and then he showed me the list, and I was like, yeah, that's him, the guy that has the picture of like the dad from the Warriors or whatever. Yeah, and he's like, what did you do? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, it could have been a Billy Joel thing. But usually when people block me, it's because I make a joke and they take it seriously. So I double down on the joke. Then they take it seriously. Then I triple down on the joke, and they're like, this guy's just an ass. And I'm like, yeah, I am. You misinterpreted to me an obvious joke, but it is the internet. So, but then you talk to him and he's like, yeah, I don't remember. It's fine. I'm blocked. And that's what, and I talked with Ben at Midwest Box Breaks on our show about this. Half the time you have someone blocked, you'll go back and you won't even remember why. And I've had like 4 or 5 people do this in the last 5 months where they unblocked me, and then we immediately follow each other, and we're like interacting with each other like all the time. And it's just like, why did we block each other? And I was like, because you have terrible taste in music. And you like Billy Joel, and I called you out on it.
I only block certain people. The accounts that come up. The time they're probably all the bots that send you DMs and you're talking with them. They come and follow me, and I'm like, I'm just going to block you. But I don't block people. Like if you say something on my timeline, I'll delete the tweet, and then I'll just ignore you from there on out. You know, I'm
mute.
Give you the time of day. Mute them.
I mute. Mute is my friend. I don't. I've only got a very, very few people blocked, but I've got a lot of people muted. So
I had a guy call me a pervert because I used the term hate boner, so I blocked him. I was like, dude, I'm on your side. Put away your hate boner. You know, like, why are you? He just kept like arguing with me, and I'm like, we agree on the subject. Why are you arguing with me? And I was like, you clearly have a hate boner and you just want to fight someone. And he was like, you're disgusting and perverted. And I was like, I'm disgusting. Block. But it was in a music thread talking about the Beatles and versus Queen. And I'm a big Beatles fan. I'm a big Queen fan. I love the Beatles more than I love Queen. It's close. But yeah, it was just a little thing that came up. And I was like, dude, we're both on the Beatles page. Why are you fighting? And yeah, weird stuff like that happens on Twitter, but don't hesitate to just get that out. Mute, block, whatever.
Right. Yep.
Make yourself happy. You need your timeline. And
absolutely.
So there we go. So if we're all done with the serious stuff, let's have some fun. Eric, we need to get to know you. Tell us how you originally got started in cards.
Okay. And if I can answer this I think Chad asked this question on Twitter of like what your top 3 sets
Yes,
were.
he did. Mm-hmm.
So let me start there because it actually ties in to this. So my parents, well, my dad, like any father in the 80s with a young son, took me to the grocery store and just started buying cards, packs of cards, right? Because he
Yeah.
collected and, got me into it. So it was the coolest thing ever. I came home one day from school, probably kindergarten or first grade, and there was a big plastic baseball card case sitting on the table with a box of 1988 tops,
Oh,
and
yes.
just a note from him saying, "Have fun." And I remember
awesome.
peeling the stickers off of every team and organizing them by team and all that. I mean, it was the coolest thing ever. So that's kind of what kicked it off. And then my parents started getting me. I was born in 1982, so they started putting together every top set from 1982 on for me for Christmas and Easter until they caught up to the given year. So my three sets, I would say, would be the 82 top set, the 86 top set, and then the 87 top set as well. Those three right there, really stand out to me. But there's a funny story about the 82 top set that I have. Well, I don't have it anymore, unfortunately, but the one that I had, my parents gave it to me. It was the first one I ever received for Christmas. And as a kid, what do you do when you get your Christmas presents, right? You start
open it.
opening up and playing with everything. I took every card out and started organizing by team. My parents come walking into my room and they yelled at me. I mean, yelled at me like I just beat up a kid on the playground, right? And they taught me right then and there, like, you don't play with the cards. You treasure them. You do what you want to do because it's a hobby. It's a collectible. So that, I mean, from that point on, I mean, I understood the value of cards, and as the 90s came along, I had my Beckett subscription, and every month I would go through that Beckett and find out what my cards are worth. Guys, I had a notebook that tracked every single month if my card values were going up and down. And, it was the craziest thing, right? And I mean, it went all the way on. I got into college and it kind of fell off at that point, because there are other interests in college, school
Drugs.
was important.
Booze. Floozies. Ladies.
But it was always in the back of my head. I mean, the hobby was always there, and I had my cards. And when I left my house to go to my full-time job, I had my first apartment, and I had a garage full of cards. I mean, Rubbermaid bins just full of cards. And when I left Ohio to move to Virginia, I couldn't transport all those cards. And so I actually ended up finding a college student in the local town there who was doing an art project and was looking for cards. And I said, take what you need. And so I walked away with all the sets that I had and a few other things. And then at one point, I just decided to sell all of them just because I didn't have a need for them anymore. I was kind of like bottomed out and never thought I'd get back into it. And then memorabilia started popping up, and I started like kind of looking at that kind of stuff. And then I got into programs, like old school programs. I got a bunch of Rose Bowl programs from when Ohio State was in the Rose Bowl back in the 50s and 60s, and that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, I mean, what year are we in now? 22. So 2020, I knew about card breaks. I watched some on YouTube and thought they were the dumbest things in the world, because who would sit here and watch people opening cards? And yeah, then the rest is history. I'm here now and loving life and enjoying every single day.
Do you remember who the breaker was that you were watching when you got back in?
Vintage Breaks was the first one that because they gave me a $10 credit through some Facebook ad.
Oh, cool.
But then after that, I found Eloy, and I was watching him, and that's where I found Smash. And then I, found Rip and Gypsy at that point. And then, like I said, just took off from there. The rest is history.
That's awesome. What do you enjoy collecting more now? Do you like the cards, the mem?
It's memorabilia for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in front of me right here, you've seen pictures on Twitter. It's my autographed baseballs that I have. I got two plates now and some bats. But it's that kind of stuff now that I really get because I can display it. I like the cards, like Che. I enjoy my PC. The rest of the stuff. I mean, My nephews a few weeks ago, they were over at the house, and the one I asked, it was before Christmas. I said, "What do you want for Christmas?" And they're like, "Oh, we want Pokemon cards." I'm like, "Oh crap, I know nothing about Pokemon," you know. And yeah, we were down here in the basement, and I got these cards laying out here, and they're like, "Oh, well, we like baseball cards too." And I'm like, "Great,
Yes.
go through all of those and take what you want." And they both walked away with a full box of cards. And then my son, like the next day, was over at their house, and he saw them, and he came home. He's like, "Daddy, I want to go. I want cards too." So now he has a binder, one of those binders you get at Target. There's like 360 pages in it or whatever. He carries this binder and sleeps with it every night now, because it's just his prized possession.
That's got to feel real good, because that's
it's fun, because I mean, my wife and I, we were like, well, we're not going to force anything on our kid. Like, let's let him make his own decisions. We'll guide him. But this was something I was like, I'm not forcing it on him. Like, if he wants to get in it, great. If not, that's fine too.
It's a hard life, and it's not meant for everyone. And
you've
gone through it yourself. Sometimes you don't want to wish that upon your child.
Right. So he's got his binder. He his two favorite cards, the Chase Young card, who he thinks is Eddie George, because he has an Eddie George starting lineup right now, because they both have Ohio State jerseys on.
Yeah.
And then a Jose Ramirez card that he picked out too. So
awesome.
He likes the shiny ones.
Hecker, I do have to tell you something real quick that I was going to say you'll appreciate, but you won't appreciate. I don't do Facebook. I haven't done Facebook in about 5 years, but I keep Facebook on my phone because every morning I get up and I check memories, and I see those pictures of my kids that I posted 7, 8, 9 years ago, and I usually download them. So eventually I can go ahead and delete the Facebook app once I'm satisfied that I've collected all my memories off there. But I saw one on the 1st that was talking about how it was January 1st, and it was the one day a year, the only time in my life I'd ever rooted for Clemson in a football game. And the reason why is because they were playing Ohio State. And somewhere in the comments, I had put, I'm telling you what, if there were a team comprised of the Louisville Cardinals, the Tennessee Volunteers, and the Folsom Prison All-Stars, I would root for them before I would ever root for Ohio State. So just so you know, we can be friends, but that's how I feel about your Buckeyes.
So this is funny. I am a Tennessee Volunteers fan. Che hates them.
Oh, yeah.
I love Ohio State because I hate Michigan.
Yeah,
I had friends that were Michigan fans, and they were obnoxious as hell. So instantly, I became an Ohio State fan. And that's just the thing. It's just, who is more annoying to you in your life?
Yes.
I hate that school, and I'm going to root for the opposite.
Well, that's exactly. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I worked side by side with the most obnoxious Ohio State fan that you could possibly have for 5 years, and that's what drove my hate for Ohio.
Yeah, we can be obnoxious. My best friend is from Tennessee, and he's the biggest Notre Dame fan in the world. And that's exactly why he's a Notre Dame fan, is because that's all he grew up around, and he found it so obnoxious. So he went and he picked a team, and has stuck with them ever since.
Nice. I have a lot of family in Tennessee than they're Notre Dame fans, because they're
Catholic.
Yes, that's it. Sorry, hold on a second. My wife's here. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry, she was just looking for my fingernail clippers. I keep them in my bag. I get those diabetic dry finger things, and I just want to clip them and not tear them, because you don't want to.
Yeah.
So she lost hers, and she just needed mine. She was just going through my medicine bag. I was like, "Did you get diabetes?" So yeah, it's great. So that's your appeal. Just going back, I actually remembered what we were talking about is the display.
Yeah,
you like how Mim is displayed.
I do. And it's nostalgia to me too. Like, because the baseballs I'm looking at, they're Hall of Famers right here. So it brings back memories, and that's kind of one of the first things. And Che, you'll appreciate this. One of my first memorabilia memories is the 1990 Wheaties box with the Cincinnati Reds on it.
Remember that box?
Yeah, it was the same year that Joe Morgan was entered into the Hall of Fame, and I had a poster of him up on my wall. So I mean, I don't know. I like the display. I had NFL pennants all across the room too. So yeah, I mean, it's just kind of always been there. It's something that's It's just fun. My father-in-law is the same way. I'm jealous of his memorabilia room that he has, even though it's all black and gold stuff. But you know, he's got an excuse. He's born and raised here.
Jen's like, I hated that 1990s or the Reds team because I liked Oakland, and my mom was rooting for Cincinnati because her brother, my Uncle Buck, was a Reds fan. And so my mom rubbed that crap in my face. I'm like, Mom, I'm 11. Why are you being such a bee?
That could be the only Reds team that I've ever liked. And I think it was their dominance in the World Series, but I had an affinity for Jose Rio that year too. And I'm not sure why. I mean, I'm a diehard Indians fan. I was in 1990, but for some reason, Jose Rio stood out to me, and Eric Davis did too. I mean, same name as me, so I mean, liked him too. But man, what a team that was. It's amazing now that I think about it. The Reds have a lot of like firsts for me. The Reds were my first baseball game. Riverfront Stadium was the first stadium I ever went to, and that game, Buddy Bell hit a walk-off home run against the Pirates. Yeah, one of the best games ever.
That's awesome. Kelly's in the chat, and we were talking about you, Kelly. If you just showed up, you missed out. Yeah. So yeah, he's part of our council of elders.
And Kelly was today's rack of the day as well. Man,
awesome.
Let me just say, like, Che, I know you know what Kelly's doing this year. I think you know what Kelly's doing as far as like the project he's doing. Tom, I don't know if you're aware of it or not.
No, but I'll talk to him.
But he reached out to me, I don't know, a week or two ago about something, and I was like, yeah, like I need some time. He wanted to buy a couple of cards off me, and I was like, I need some time because I'm not selling right now. And I looked at him the other day, and I DM'd him, and I was like, hey, here are the cards. Here's what I'm asking for him, and he responded, very pleasantly. Then I started thinking, like, this is stupid of me. Like what he's doing is for the right reason. Like it's somebody else would appreciate these cards. I don't need the money I'm asking for these cards. And he really opened my eyes yesterday and today to that. So that's why he was rack of the day. I mean, he brought me back to the roots of this whole thing. And I really just appreciated that.
If I can jump in here too, I had a conversation with Kelly the other day. And I left it inspired for the year. He changed my outlook on the year, on what I was going to do. And he just told me about what he had done. And I won't share exactly what he was doing because it's private to him. But I was like, that is the coolest thing I think I've seen in the hobby in a long, long time. And I kind of went with that and changed it and added my own little nuance. So if you guys saw my tweet, you might not have seen it. I tweeted 3 or 4 days ago and got a tremendous reply. I just did a little video and I said, hey, all I need to know is who's your one guy, who do you PC? I don't want to know. Don't tell me Jason Dominguez. Don't tell me LaMelo Ball. I want to know who takes you back to when you were a kid, who just tugs at your heartstrings. What player do you collect that when you pull the card, you're not pulling eBay comps, you're pulling your binder to put in there because that's your guy. And that guy is important to you for reasons other than money. And I had well over 200 responses. So what I'm going to do, I'll just kind of share it with you now. It's going to serve a couple of purposes. I'll have a running list of who's everybody's PC is. So when we're doing racks and spontaneous racks and somebody tells us they nominate this person for the April 13th rack of the day, Eric, if you don't know, you can reach out to me and I can say, oh, he collects Chris Sabo or whatever. But also what I'm going to do is I went and got a binder, brand new binder, hasn't been touched yet.
You're touching it now. Oh no.
All 80 pages inside right now. I've been working on, I'm going to take every name and I just got tiny mailing labels and I've started labeling them at ES Hecker, at Tom P. Willis, at Psycho MC Teach, at Anna Blanken. And I'm going to take one card of the player that everybody told me and put it in this binder and put the little label on the bottom of the pocket of who it is that collects that card. So hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have this binder full of just one card of who everybody on my friends list who I interact with on a daily basis, who they PC.
That
So
is a great project,
yeah,
man.
I'll just
awesome.
have
I love
I'll
it.
have
Yes.
a kind of a living, breathing tribute to this community, and I'll be able to look through it and see the cards of the people who I love, the cards that they love. So I'll have that I can just look through, and then there'll be a reference tool as well. So if we ever need to know, I'll have trouble finding like a Bishop Sankey for K-Dub. I don't have a damn Bishop Sankey card. So I have to probably go to eBay and buy Bishop Sankey to put in K-Dub slot. But, just things like that. I think it'll be fun.
Jay, you could get 50 for 50 cents.
Yeah. So, but that's a little project, a little side project I'm working on. And that's the why behind the why on that video I did the other day. Got a tremendous response. So, yeah.
I love that.
Kelly's the guy. He just checks in with me, a couple times a week in the morning. Hey, man.
Yep.
It's just what I need when I wake up some days. And he said he's late because he's walking his dogs. He goes and walks shelter dogs, man.
Yes.
What a dude. And
Kelly's a real
handsome
human, man.
Mother
He's
trucker,
so awesome.
too. Like, whew, silver fox.
And can cook. Yeah.
Yes.
Kelly's he's a dude.
He's a
I
catch,
said it the
man.
other day. I don't know who I was talking to. It's probably you, Hecker. I just said he's the backbone of this community. People like Kelly are the backbone of this community. Unsung, does not seek attention. Doesn't seek any attention whatsoever. I know, Tom, you freely admit you go for clout.
Yeah, I'm 100% seeking attention.
I think some of us, I'd like not to think that I'm truly seeking attention, but I do tweets. I like to see the likes. I like to see, there's some things that I do that, while I do have good intentions, I feel good about, if it gets a lot of attention. I don't think Kelly's that way. I mean, he's a good dude who does stuff the right way for the right reasons. And, like I said, people like him, backbone of this community. So
yeah, I mean,
like
I said, he made me rethink, what I was doing, in that moment. And he helped me out. I still got stuff here. He helped me out with, the Christmas racks this year too. So, I mean, just an all around great guy.
Absolutely.
So, Che, what are your 3 favorite sets?
1987 tops. It was the first set that I had enough money. I would have been 13. I started working on a tobacco farm. This is 1987. $10 an hour tax free. So extrapolate that. Go back to 1987. Stripping tobacco is hard work. Cutting tobacco, hanging tobacco is hard work. But from late July, early August, all the way through December, there was either you're cutting it, you're loading it, you're hanging it, you're stripping it. I made a lot of money that year. As a 13-year-old with no taxes and nothing to do, I bought a ton of 1987 tops. And it had the Bonds rookie. It had McGuire's second rookie. It had that beautiful, beautiful Eric Davis card. Barry Larkin's rookie was in there. So many good cards in that set. I had Mike Greenwell. I was going to be rich on my Mike Greenwell rookies. But, I love the look of that set. And it was the first set that I was really able to buy my own cards. And so 1987 tops, by far my number one set. 1985 tops, I wasn't able to buy as many, but it had the Eric Davis rookie, the Kirby Puckett rookie. And so those were very, very, very important to me. And then after that, I don't have a true favorite. There's so many also rans. I love 72 tops, 75 tops, 56 tops. Beautiful, beautiful set. Don't have a single card out of that set, but I just love the look of it. 87 Fleer. Love that set. Love that set. So I got a bunch of 3A, 3 and 3A and 3B and 3C, but 87 tops is number 1. 85 tops is number 2. And those are so far ahead of whatever's in third place. There's a bunch there, but yeah, those are mine for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm kind of like the 86, 87, 88 tops guy. That's just when I started collecting. I also really like 2011 and 12 tops football. Those designs, they're kind of like 88 tops in a way. You just got the white border and they have the little bit of thing there. So those just kind of appealed to me too. 88 top set was the first complete set I had, and I think my little brother still has it. So Eric, I'm with you right there. When you said 88 tops, I was like, yep, Aiden, they not a card in there worth anything.
No,
not at
all. Just like simple, like we're not going to try too hard, but it's like a pedestrian, clean look I appreciate. You know, like it's not loud. There's nothing crazy, but
83 tops. 83 tops. Underrated too.
Yeah.
Circle. Yeah. Had the Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs. That was a beautiful set. I like 83 tops a lot too.
Okay, what else do we want to talk about?
You're the host.
Yeah. Lead, Gandalf.
Oh man, I'm just so happy to have you guys. I'm just laughing and having so much fun. It's great. For the rack of the day, I had a suggestion. Like they should come on the Tom show. To be able to just do this and tell everybody why. To try to get them on earlier. So Che, I'll have you on again next month for sure. We could talk about more in depth what your plans are. Need to get, all of our friends. I really appreciate that, you guys do want to talk to me because it makes a difference to me. We're joking about how I tweet for clout. I just tweet to distract myself from the fact that one day I'm going to be dead.
Well, Tom, you laugh at that, but it's so true.
It is. I'm like,
that's
not to be negative, but like I'm going to die and not exist.
That's why I got back into this, right? Because look, March 2020, what the hell happened? The whole world shut down. We're all in our houses, need something to do, right?
Yeah.
And I'm fully remote now. And just today we got an email saying, hey, through the end of the month, you're still going to be remote. So it's like getting back in that mental state of, God, I can't leave, so I need something to distract me. And that's what this all is. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's, I got back in right December prior to COVID is when I got back in, but I didn't join Hobby Twitter until after COVID hit. And I, like you, Eric, I was now remote and I was working from home every day and, just had all kinds of time on my hands. And this hobby in the hobby community on Twitter, I don't want to say it. I don't want to be so, my now 10-year-old has called me the king of hyperbole since he learned what the word hyperbole means. I don't want to say it saved my life, but it kept me sane. It literally kept me sane for a year is this community that I found when I'm at home, 5 days a week. My kids are with their mom. I only got them on the weekends. I'm here by myself, I'm shut in. Yeah. And I found a community of like-minded folks and, man, it helped me. It helped me so much. And don't know that I'll ever leave it now. So it's cool.
No, I really hope it does continue to grow. I hope that people that came in back for the nostalgia and then saw like, okay, we can make a ton of money. And then now are like, okay, we may be able to make money sometimes, but I just want to be here. I hope those people stay and I hope that continues to grow.
I hope they stay too. And I think what's so great is that this community was already here. Mm-hmm. It's nothing that we created, nothing that any of us created. It was already here. I think more people just recognized it and started going on. And now I think going back to our original point at the start of the show, like this whole thing, people are just recognizing that, all right, I'm not going to send my kid to college on these cards. But what I can do is I can put a smile on another kid's face out in California, by sending this to him, and Ben, he reached out to me the other day. He's like, we need to talk. I got some ideas. And I'm like, all right, let's do this, So, it's creating more and more. And I don't see this thing stopping anytime soon.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? I saw T Murph posted the other day and I'm like, dude, that's exactly right. He's like, I'm torn between buying the most expensive card I can for my PC and giving away every card I own. Because every card I get, I'm like, that belongs to Chris. That belongs to Kelly. That belongs to Eric. And I get so much joy out of that, man. Tonight, I bought a box of Bowman's Best today. and somebody sent me, they posted on my timelines like, hey man, did you get any Yankees? I'll buy them from you. That's DM'd him. I'm like, man, send me your address. I don't want these,
Right.
I don't want these cards. I mean, there's some in here I do want, but I'm not going to sell these to you for $3 a piece. They're yours, man. If you're that big of a Yankees fan
Yeah.
that you're reaching out, then these cards belong to you. They don't belong to me. And you know what though? That comes back to me in spades. I mean, it does. I go and look at in my display cabinet in there, and I've got 5 gorgeous Rod Carew autographed relic cards and about 7 Eric Davis and 5 Devin Mesoraco, which aren't worth anything monetarily.
Yeah.
But, that's like 20 autographed cards and autographed relics, and a lot of them are numbered, and some of them are numbered to like 10. And of all those cards, I bought one of them.
Yeah.
One of them. I bought one of the Eric Davis number to 100 from I can't think of his Twitter name. His handle is T-Bone, Tom. That's why I remember him. Silver Fox.
Silver Fox.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great guy. He sent me. I got these posters, by the way. I mean, these puzzles, all these puzzles.
Yep.
I didn't know I was going to talk about him. He sent me all of these. I got more over here. And he just sent them to me because he knew I like to do the puzzles. But he had one for sale and I bought that one. But all the others, every one of the others, I just go to my mailbox one day and open it up and I'm like, what the hell's this? And open it up. And last one I got was from Gold Line, Chris. It was a Rod Carew autograph numbered to 10. Dang. Josh, Junior Noble, just another collector, has sent me several. So many people have. And I don't ask for them and I feel guilty about getting them. But, it's just kind of that spirit of giving. And so anything I give away, I gave away freaking an Anthony Rizzo and a Joey Gallo Bowman draft tonight. I mean, it doesn't compare to what I get back in return. It does not compare to what I get back in return. So just the generosity of the people in this hobby.
It's just so great because, I mean, we enjoy our PCs so much that that's what we want to focus on. Like I'm with you, Che, and I know, Tom, you agree too. Like, we feel guilty being given this stuff, right? Because that's not what we're here for. And last week or 2 weeks ago, like look, I'll be honest, like I get tagged in all these giveaway posts, and I'm like, all right, I'll like it just because. But last week I was tagged Cigar Box. I don't know if you follow him at all, but he does the card art. Somebody tagged me to try to win one of his giveaways, and typically I would just ignore it, but he had a gorgeous Thurman Munson card art piece. And there's a long story with Thurman Munson, why I like him so much. And I was like, that's a gorgeous card. I'm hoping that I somehow end up with it. And I did. It's sitting right over here. And I couldn't be any more happier, but that's because it was a part of who I am, and why I'm into card collecting so much.
I'm with you guys. Giving is so much more fun because you're the bad guy, but you're the good guy. You're like, ha, I got you. Now you feel this. But it's a great feeling when you get a card from people, and it's just I get overwhelmed easily and emotional because I'm a sensitive 90s man. So that kind of, I don't like that feeling because I do feel guilty. And that's why I try to tell people, like, don't nominate me, please. Nominate someone else. There's someone else that's out there that's worthy. Yeah. And it also goes to why I have a hard time nominating people, because the way I look at it is, if I need to nominate someone for the rack of the day, I should have taken care of them already myself without the help of other people. But there's also that recognition that comes from winning that rack of the day. But I will be quick. If someone else recommends someone, I'll be like, yeah, I saw that. That's right. Yeah. I'm sure you see that a lot, Eric, where I'm like, yes, second, you can vouch, can do this. So that's kind of more, if you see me act like that on, rack of the day stuff, just to explain, that's why it is. Like, if I'm not going to ever nominate Che for rack of the day, because
but here's the thing, right?
I will just send him cards and racks myself. But here's the thing: just because you say, God, I should have sent them something, still put them out there. Doesn't mean I'm going to select them or whoever's going to select them, right? Mm-hmm. What you're doing is you're saying, Che, you're a good dude, and I just want you to know that. And I want the world to know that. I want my Tom, how many followers you have? 50,000?
I want my 50,000 followers to know how awesome Che is.
Yes.
But going to your point, like when I was putting together my RAK ambassadors this year, I had the toughest time cutting people because there's so many good people in this hobby, right?
Yeah.
And so I mean, I took 2 days off of work and I spent 2 days like mapping all this all out, like where people are in the country, who PCs what, who's got, and all this stuff. I mean, it was nuts, but yeah, I had a tough time like getting rid of people and whatnot. Now I'm kind of second guessing it, but there's another layer to this that'll come in 2023.
Yeah, kick Tom out. No,
Gandalf, sorry, you got to go.
Before we move on,
problem. It's a bad thing because Che does need a shout out, but it's just that guilty feeling, that comes with it, and I'm getting better about that. December, I was nominating more people that, I haven't seen nominated before that, do some really great stuff. So I'm getting better, but that's just something I struggle with. And if you struggle with that, viewer, don't, you can reach out, or you could just, if you do the secondary vouches, sometimes that's just as helpful as nominating someone yourself. So sorry, Che, go ahead.
I was just going to say what you spoke on first. It is hard to receive. It's hard. I wrote a blog about it once, inspired by watching Hecker's Rack of the Day and watching people say, no, pass it along to somebody else. Yep. And then the next person's like, nope, pass it along to somebody else. And I'm like, damn it, people, let him give you these cards. That's what he wants to do. And I thought about it. And I'm like, I would do the same thing. I don't want to feel like I'm a charity case or I'm receiving charity. It's hard to be open to be on the receiving end. I would much rather be on the giving end.
Yeah.
But if you're not on the receiving end, you aren't allowing that other person to get that fulfillment and that joy of giving. So it's something I consciously worked on, is accepting. So now, I mean, I do it every time, and I have to stop, do a double take, and say, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. When somebody says, they reach out to me and say, this is yours. I no longer say, no, man, I can't take that. You can't do that. No, I can't accept that, because I know how good I feel when I give.
Yeah. Right.
And I know that if I'm the guy who fights them over giving me something, that I'm depriving them of something they truly want to do. And that it takes a conscious effort on my part, because just out of habit and out of instinct, I want to say, no, I can't take that. I can't take that. So yeah, I was reading, it was one particular day, Hecker, I think you had to go through 4 different people.
I remember that day.
To give you, and I wrote a blog about it right then and there. I'm like, this
that was early on too. I mean, that was probably within the first couple of months, but yeah, I mean, I get people, that will say, hey, thank you, I appreciate that, but let me pass it on, or usually it's pass it on to somebody else, or do you mind if I don't accept this? And my answer is always, it's your rack. Like the moment I DM you, and that's why I DM them before I put the tweet out there, I want to make sure that they're actually accepting of it. Now, sometimes, like if they don't answer the DM, then I'll put it out there. It kind of gives them like, oh crap, what's going on? But they'll, at that point I say, it's your rack. You can do what you want with it. And I put it back in their court to give me somebody that they want to give it to. So that seems to work out at times.
I could see myself doing that. Like if someone was like, oh, hey, Tom, I want to send you this Rod Carew. And I'd be like, hold on a second. I would love that card, but I know someone that would love it even more. Yeah. Would you mind sending it to, Che instead? But otherwise, now I'm just like, yes, accept it, because those people want to feel that high and they want to feel that good. They want to see that smile, because your day was made, like people are like, hey, Tom's all right. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I am all right. This is a good feeling. It's going to last like a day, but hey, that's the day I needed. So yes, just remember, it's not about you. Everyone thinks this whole life is about themselves, and it's your life. But remember the people that are doing this, the people that nominate you, they care about you. And if, I nominated Che and Che wins, that's, like, hey, I did that for Che. I helped recognized my best buddy in the whole world who I love, and I tell him I love him every day. But now he sees it and everyone else sees it that, I would do anything for him. So it's a great feeling. So yeah, it's a two-way street for me, but I'm getting better at it. And I just smile and say, yes, this is amazing, because it is. Even if it's not to you, it is to the person that nominated you. You know what I mean? So just let them have it's about them more than it is about you, honestly. You're making them happy.
Some of those rock crews I've gotten.
And I've gotten some amazing racks. I mean, our buddy's sending out me tons of Broncos cards. I have some of the rookies that I would have never gotten because I couldn't find product at all, So I've got some Jared Judy rookies and, from people from last year, KJ Hamler, because people racked them to me. I have that super nice Drew Lock card because, I got it in a rack. So it's two-way street, but yeah, just remember, guys. So Eric, we talked about your, family. Your dad was already collecting and he got you in. Just a big sports family in general. Did he always watch something? Was your mom?
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in a sports family. I mean, Indians, Browns, Cavs, Buckeyes, they were always on in the house. My father was a quiet sports fan. I mean, rabid, cheered for his team. My mom was the one that would scream and yell at the television. And I remember watching the 89 AFC Championship game, Browns and Broncos.
Great game.
No, it was a horrible game. And all I remember is my mom yelling at the TV, hold them. And I kept looking at her. I'm like, they can't hold him. It's a penalty. So it's like one of those things where, that's how passionate she was just getting into the game. But yeah, I mean, always, and my grandmother too, my dad's mom, she was always into the same games. I mean, they were always on in the house. But quick story, card related and family sports related. I remember my grandfather, we lived right next door to my grandfather, who was my hero and still is to this day. I opened up a pack of 1990 Topps in front of him and pulled a Darryl Strawberry card out. And it's a very vivid memory of like where I was that day, what we were doing, what he was doing. He just looks at me and he goes, the straw man. And that's all it was. Like, I mean, it's so cool. But yeah, I mean, we're a sports family, and we are in this house too, so it's, it's fun every day.
That's it's crazy how impactful that is. I don't know if you remember this. I'm still going to do it. I'm going to commission a set to be made by one of our card artist friends, whether it's I Draw Baseball Cards or whoever. But I was asking for one specific card that if you could make a card to go in this set, what you would make. And you told me that strawberry card, and you told me the reason why was because of your grandfather. Yeah. So that stuck with you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. Go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, I used to work at the airport in Gunnison, Colorado, and we would get people, flying in from Cleveland, or it went to Dallas, but, CLE, for the airport, Cleveland all the time. And I remember when they announced that the Browns were going to be, a franchise again, because they had moved to Baltimore, and I'm sure that was very painful. And I was bummed. And I would just engage them. I'd be like, if I saw, I'd be like, hey, you guys excited to get the Browns back? And they're like, yeah, we're so excited. We're so excited. I'd be like, yeah, me too. And they'd be like, why are you so excited to get the Browns back? I was like, because it didn't feel right going to the Super Bowl without beating the Browns first.
Can we end the show now?
Yeah.
I don't.
True story. I would get that same look from people on it. We were SkyCap and we worked for tips, and yeah, people get mad like, you just screwed us out of tips, Tom. And I'm like, yes, I did.
I woke up this morning, and instead of my wife saying good morning, how'd you sleep, all that, she looks at me, she goes, you bitter? That's the game last night. So
I hate the Steelers so much. One of my best friends is a Steelers fan. He knows nothing about football, really, but will rub it in my face anytime the Steelers beat the Broncos. So it's like, why are you even alive?
These
Like,
guys are the worst.
Why?
The non-sports fan who decides to rub it in your face.
Yes,
Yeah,
and it's just like
that's horrible.
Yeah,
I hate
if you're a
them.
fan 365 and you're passionate about it, that's one thing. I still
Yes.
might get, oh, I see Jim Porter.
Jim's
jumping
logging
in.
off now too. So I killed our best viewer and I killed our
Yeah.
yes.
But no,
But
the
Jen-
non-sports fan. Go ahead.
Yeah. Jen's passion for the Steelers, if Jen rubbed it in my face, I would get it.
Yeah.
But your best friend who doesn't even watch football
Right.
is like, the Broncos and Steelers are in the same division. And they're like, no, we're not, man.
No,
Like,
they're not.
Are you dumb?
Yeah.
But you don't want to say that because they're your best friend. But it's just like, shut up, man.
Yeah, let me
I have
teach you
also
little
a funny
something.
story about that same asshole friend. I got tickets to a Monday night game for the Steelers Broncos in Denver. We worked at the same place, and my friend was my boss at the time. I was his boss for a while at a different job, and he hired me when I was down. And I said, I can't go, guys, because I need to work today. It's just two of us, and it's a crazy day. It's a Monday. So I don't think I can go. They then asked my best friend if he wanted to go, and he called me. He's like, yep, I'm going to the game, Tom. You're in the store all day by yourself. So just those little things like that add up to the point where you're like, man, I hope the Steelers
Tom, you
lose.
want to know an interesting fact about me?
What's that?
I've been to more home Broncos games than I have home Browns games.
It's crazy.
Yeah. You used to live out here, right? Did you say that?
For 1 year I did, yeah.
Okay. You just loaded it up?
I don't know. I was young and dumb and bought tickets that were too expensive and wore my Browns jersey to the game and, got beard spill on me for, no reason. And it is what it was.
There are asshole Bronco fans. Like my brother.
There's those fans everywhere. I mean, my wife refuses to go to a Browns Steelers game in Cleveland, just because of what she's been told about the fans up there, which is fine. It is what it is. I'll probably land in jail if that were the case. But
my friend Seven, Christine, who we talked about earlier, she's finally in the chat saying,
Hey, Christine.
Howdy. Hey, Christine.
She hates the 80s. That's my only gripe about her is I love everything 80s. She hates everything 80s. But other than that, she's a good gal. And her daughter's the cutest little sassafras I've ever seen. So go ahead, Che. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I will acknowledge Jen in the chat. She says she did shed tears after the game last night. And I know she did. Yeah. It was a tough night for her, seeing Ben, play his last game. She told me today, she's the entire time I've been a Steelers fan, he's been my quarterback, so that was a tough one for her last night. So I was glad to see him get the win for her. So,
I never liked Ben Roethlisberger, and not for the fact that he played for the Steelers and not for the fact that he's an Ohio boy that didn't play for the Browns. I met him at a party in college. And it was after a football game, and he stands out. I mean, guys, 6'6", 240, right? I walk over, and he's talking to some girls about, who he is and whatnot, and bragging about himself. And I made the side comment of like, yeah, except you threw 3 interceptions today, or something like that. And he turns around and he goes, do you know who I am? I said, yeah, you're the quarterback for the Miami, Ohio Redhawks, not Miami University Hurricanes. And he just went ballistic at that point, rightfully so. I mean, sure, you're still playing D1 football on a full ride scholarship, but he just came off as a bad person. And I guess reflecting, I probably provoked that in him, but it is what it is.
He was scooping all the ladies. Yeah, he was a threat to your fun. I've never really had a bad celebrity. Well, my same friend who was a Steelers fan, yes, he embarrassed the shit out of me. So we do at the Gunnison Airport. It was Country in the Rockies. Jimmy Carter, former president, would fly up and they would do a fundraiser, and there'd be like a bunch of country music artists and they'd raise money for, his to build houses for whatever. And I met him, and he was a super nice guy. And you guys remember the TV show Wings?
Yeah.
The Crystal Bernard, the main gal on that show, she became a country music singer for a little while after that show ended. She was flying in, and we were moving our equipment from the front where we did the sky cap to the back secured location. And she was standing right there by the front door, and my buddy's just hauling, and he almost runs into her with the equipment. He's like, "Watch it, you fucking bitch." And I was like, "What the? You can't say that to anyone, let alone the lady from my favorite show." So that's like my only bad experience is because my Pittsburgh Steelers friend is an asshole.
I want to acknowledge Jen's comment she just made about Ben and the good he does. I do have to say, living in Pittsburgh now for 6 years, I've seen him do a lot of good in this community. So he is a good human being at the end of the day.
Yeah, it seems like he really changed once he got married. And all that he really was like, you know what? I was an idiot, and now I'm just going to do what I should have done. You know, like I'm an adult now, and he just realized it. And it's like, hey, good for him, man.
Hey, I'm so glad I'm not judged on the crap I did when I was 18 to 25 years old.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
playing Nintendo all night. I mean,
and can you imagine? I mean, I know what I was doing when I was 21, 22 years old.
Yep.
Can you imagine being in the international spotlight every day doing that? So I mean, you gotta give people some leeway when it comes to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I said, he's had an arc where he was a villain to I think a lot of people, and now it's kind of that has lessened a lot. Some people will just not like him for whatever reason, justified or not, in their own head. But to me, he has changed.
Yes.
And I still don't like I said, I don't like the Steelers because of my friend, but I don't hate Ben Roethlisberger. So that's always good. Hey, Moose just showed up.
Moose.
What's up, Dylan? It's past your bedtime, buddy.
Yeah, it is. I actually got Dylan.
No, he's in Central Time. He's in Central Time.
Yeah. I got Dylan his first NFT. I'm excited about that. He's just got to figure out how to get a MetaMask so we can get it transferred to him. Moose, you know, there is an NFT that is like Moose versus Hunger. So they're Moose cartoons, and they raise money for charity feeding people. And I showed Moose that one time. He's like, "That's me. I'm a moose, and I raise funds for charity." So he liked that project. And I interacted with them today a little bit, and they're like, "We want to send him one. Set him up." And I was like, "Okay, Dylan, set yourself up." Dylan's like, "I don't know how my dad would help." And I'm like, "Well, if your dad says no, then we're SOL. I'll take the moose on your behalf, maybe, Dylan, if you can't convince your parents to get you one."
That's
yes,
awesome.
he will buy all the Moose versus Hunger.
That's awesome.
So, what sport is more meaningful to you? Is it the football, or is
baseball.
it like it's baseball?
Baseball.
Because you're like your grandfather and you're just the tradition of it, or just?
I played growing up. It was my sport. You know,
Okay.
I mean, I played multiple sports, but that was the one that I loved and I enjoyed. You know, I was good at it, I guess, as well. And that's what ultimately got me out of the game of baseball because it no longer became fun.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but no, in the tradition of the game, I mean, look, I'm an old soul. I think, you know, you guys probably have recognized that about me. I'm the traditionalist. I like, I like the umpire behind the plate. I don't want robo umpires. You know, I like that it's a thinking man's game. You know, I like all those things about it. And, you know, it's just one of those things that has always been there, you know, for 175 plus years now at this point. And, you know, if there's any one thing that I couldn't live without, it would probably be baseball.
So what would you rather see more, the Browns win the Super Bowl or the Guardians win the World Series?
Guardians win the World Series.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's I'm a Broncos fan for life, but I would like to see the Rockies win a championship just because they never have, you know?
Yeah, I mean, 1948 is the last time they won a World Series, you know, longest streak in professional sports at this point. And I want to see it happen. It should have happened on 3 different occasions now, but You know, it's heartbreaking when you see that. And the bigger parade will be the Browns winning the Super Bowl. You know, but
Yeah.
give me a Guardians World Series.
I know that stings coming off your mouth, and I'm sorry, but
you know what's funny? So it does a little bit, but we're going to spring training in March, and
I saw that. That's
my
great.
my wife, she got me a shirt for Christmas that says "Long Live the Chief" and has Chief Wahoo outline.
Mhm.
She got me a coffee mug the same way, and I absolutely love them, like, because it does. I mean, it 40 years of knowing them as the Indians, you know, it's going to take a little adjustment period, right?
Yeah.
But we're taking my son to spring training with us too. And so I'm getting myself to say the Guardians around him. I'm getting my Guardians gear because of him, because I want him to have a good experience at spring training.
Yeah.
I don't want fans coming up to me saying, "Oh, the Indians or Chief Wahoo," or, you know, whatnot. Like, I don't want to defend myself. I don't want to do all that. You know, and I'm hoping that, you know, maybe he can interact with the players while there too, you know, and just have that fun experience. But I'm going to opening day too, and he's not coming with me, so I am wearing the Indians gear opening day.
The Indians, I will always love the Indians because of Major League.
Major League.
Yeah.
Man, that movie, I shouldn't have seen it when it came out, but I did. I was like 10 or 11. Man, one of those movies that just I like helped identify your sense of humor, you know, as a young adult or a child, as I was. So
Chad and I at Psycho MC Teach, who's always watching us, we probably watched that movie together. I'm not lying, 20 times just together. You know, he and I. I mean, I used to call him on the phone and he would answer and say, "Dar World," you know, like the manager, you know. So it's like, it's just,
oh man,
I love that movie.
That's a movie that when it's on TV, you just stop and watch it.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter where it is, and you stop and watch.
That's
great.
I wish they had a better GIF of that, of a scene from the movie, and it's where the groundskeeper or the grounds crew, it just says they're still shitty. Like, because I use that so much when people are like talking about stuff, and I'm just like, they're still shitty. Like when it's usually about like the Broncos or something, like, hey, we did this, we did that, we did that. Yeah, we're still shitty. that joke, you know, that's the one for me that's like always, it's usually something like that you could quote or reference that sticks with you. And that's, for me, Major League, that's what that is we're still shitty. Man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love baseball so much, but
Me too.
It's
such a great sport. And I mean, it's so social as well. I think that's what I really enjoy about it. Like, you know, I mean, like I said, my wife won't go to a Browns Steelers game in Cleveland because of the animosity, but we love going to Indians game. We love going to Pirates games, you know, just because it doesn't matter who they're playing. I mean, you know, unless you're the Yankees, Red Sox, you're not going to hear a bad word out of anybody.
Or anyone at Coors Field now, because apparently that's where everyone wants to go and get drunk and fight.
Yeah.
Jen's going to bed. Jen, thank you so much for watching.
Thanks,
We
Jen.
love you so much.
Thanks,
good night.
Jen.
Hope you have a good morning. Yeah, that's going to a Broncos game. Like, my older brothers were Chiefs fans. Sometimes they would get beer dumped on them or perfume from a crazy lady, you know. And then sometimes it's fine, you know, like you said, there's just those people, but you can't hear anything. And some drunk asshole, and it's usually my little brother, would always spill a beer down my Terrell Davis jersey. But then you go to a baseball game and it's relaxing and quiet. And you got to pay attention so you don't get, you know, struck in the face. You know, I've seen that once or twice, and it's not good. But yeah, and it's just like, okay, everyone's here to have fun. And that's the problem with the Rockies right now. I don't know if you guys, you know, the Rockies suck, right? The fans, they don't give a crap about the product on the field because they're not fans of the Rockies. They're fans of going to Coors Field, getting on the bar level, getting some, you know, awesome beers and, you know, the awesome sunsets and the awesome views, and just hang out. It's like
Coors Field is a beautiful stadium.
Yes, it is. Like, it's worth it to go to and do all that.
Yeah.
But that's what, like 70% of the people are there doing, you know, and it's not, they're like, oh, we traded Arenado. I don't care. I can still get a beer and watch the sunset.
That's PNC Park too. Like PNC Park is just a gorgeous park. Che, I'm sure you've probably been to PNC.
No, I want to come and I want you to go with me.
Oh man, come on out this summer. It's a beautiful stadium. It's got a gorgeous view. But Pirates fans, I mean, they are passionate about their baseball. You know, they want a winning team on the field. And, you know, the running joke right now is that the owner just sold the ski resorts here to Vail. And, you know, everybody's hoping that his next sale will be the Pirates to, you know, hopefully, you know, get some better. But man, Chris knows. Chris Fargo, he's here. I mean, it's amazing. Chris Fargo here in chat. Welcome. It's funny. He lives like 2 minutes from me down the road, and we've never met. And I'm not even joking about that. I mean, it's literally like 2 minutes. But yeah, baseball is so social. It's such a great place to be. But going back to your point about Rockies fans, like they're there to drink and have fun. I think we've all grown up in that phase of baseball fandom where like Major League Baseball do something better to market your players, get the younger fans into the game. I think the teams have done a horrible job with it because they're getting the younger fans to the games, but it's not to watch the games. It's not to pay attention. It's to go to the bar and drink. I can go to an Indians game for $12, standing room, and they're going to give me a free drink. Like, who's not going to do that on a July day?
Yeah, sounds fun.
I mean, it sounds like a great time, but they know nothing about the game.
And also, you know, when there are young, exciting players and they celebrate or do something that young kids get into, you hear about how awful they are for the next, 79 million hours on whatever news that constitutes sports news, because it's all just opinion, like regular news now. All news is just fax me, man. Like, hey, Fernando Tatis hit a grand slam and he moonwalked the entire bases because it won the game. And I would be like, he won the game.
That's awesome.
He should be able to moonwalk.
I love watching the Pirates play. They play with so much joy. That team plays with so much joy. But so many people hate them because of that. And it's
and like I said, I mean, I'm a traditionalist, but man, I'm a realist too. Like, have fun with the game.
Yeah.
You're 23 years old. You just hit a walk-off grand slam. Absolutely moonwalk the bases.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you get hit by the pitcher in your next at-bat, so be it. It was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Because guess what? Your on-base percentage just went up because you got hit by that pitch.
OBS plus or on-base plus slugging. I don't know. I just like runs and RBIs and batting average, but I guess those are loser stats now. So
they don't get you in the Hall of Fame anymore.
No. Yeah, someone was talking about how Tony Gwynn was a terrible player because his OBS was bad, and I was like, I have to fight you. Like not Twitter fight. Like you have to meet up and fight to the death.
There's so many reasons to fight that person on that one comment alone.
He just hit singles. Yeah. Like a million of them.
I saw somewhere that
says "fuck Tony Gwynn." Sorry, pardon my language. Yeah, that's something.
That's the greatest quote in baseball. I love that quote.
You reminded me of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw somewhere the other day that Pete Rose could come back and go something like 500 for 500 and not catch Tony Gwynn in batting average.
Yep. Yeah.
Crazy. Fellas, I'm gonna have to cut out soon. So just let you know.
It's quite all right. I think we've had a lot of fun, and you guys will be repeat guests, so we could chat more. Maybe I'll think of actual topics instead of just rambling. But I like it when we ramble. So
this was awesome.
I'm super excited. Mr. Hecker and I on the same day both got our tickets to the National this year.
Oh yes,
and you were my inspiration to do it because I was planning on going, and I mean, there was no reason for me, that I was putting it off. Just wasn't thinking about it. And then I saw it and I'm like, okay, I got to pull the trigger.
I've never gotten to go. I was out of the hobby for so long. And then when I came back in, COVID hit and, it's like, so I'm going this year and I hope to meet, if you're watching this and you plan on going, I truly hope to meet you there, spend time with you, break bread with you, share a beer with you.
Yep.
That's why I'm going. Well, I might be there all 5 days, and it's not to buy cards. I don't know. I might not buy a card. I mean, I'm going to look at a lot of stuff, but I cannot wait to meet some of these people in this community
that's why I put that tweet.
I've interacted with.
I'm probably not going to buy anything. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I'm doing, but man, there's going to be a lot of people there that I want to meet, and that's
too.
All I care about.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, this has been so much fun.
It's been a blast.
And I love it. Che, you are like one of the most thoughtful and inspirational people in the hobby that I connect with daily. You have a way to articulate, what's going on very well. I can't use words goods in case you couldn't tell, but you just have that like sophistication to your tweets and stuff that I really admire. And Eric, you just that drive, in your project, and you did it. And, you are also such a kind and thoughtful person that, I love you guys both so much. You guys will be repeat guests on my show anytime you guys need to or want to. You have a project or it's your month next month, Che, just let me know. We'll work something in, even if it's like a special Sunday show. I mean, after football, I don't care about Sundays anymore. So I can do more stuff with the Tom Show, because I do want to do more with the Tom Show. Like I said, I say this on every show. Let me say it real quick. I want to talk to my friends to help fight my depression, but also get to know my friends on a deeper level. I'm a surface guy. I'm a, hey, buddy, I love you. Oh, no, that's terrible. How can I help you? I'll listen to your problems and give you advice, but I don't know you at your core or at your soul, and I'm trying to do this through this show. So thank you guys. I love you both.
Love you too, buddy.
Love you, Tom. Che, love you, man. So you guys are awesome. Appreciate what you guys are doing.
Hit my little outro here, and then we'll be good to go.
Thanks, everybody.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody. Love you.